Welcome back to the channel. We are continuing on with the chicken coop operation overhaul here on the homestead, and today we're going to deal with the feeder. We have a really great feeder design that I have. It's my favorite design. I've used over many years of having chickens, and this is great for any size flock. You can scale this up or down to whatever you need, but it works really well. But there's a couple improvements I have been needing to make on it, and I want to move it and make this area a little nicer. I'm going to show you how we're going to improve it today to make the ultimate chicken feeding system. This is our feeder, and all it is basically I built a box with a slanted roof on the top. I use some of that Andorra, it's an asphalt product roofing. There's just a piece of twine here. This actually used to be my security, but it's gotten a little loose. And then right inside is just basically a big box. I have 4 of the I 3D printed these little chicken feeding hoods, and what happens is the feed, it just gets underneath the lip, but there's just a gap at the bottom about this big where the feed can kind of get underneath it, and the chickens stick their head in. I'll show you from the other side, and they peck away at it, and then more just kind of feeds underneath. The problem with this is that, as you can see, when you get down to the bottom, even the bottom 8 to 10 inches of feed in here, it creates a little divot right around there, and the feed doesn't push towards them. So I need to make a slanted bottom that makes sure the feed will get down to those little feeding hoods. And this has just been I threw it out here. I set it up on a few pieces of scrap 4x4 and 2x4. And as you can see, it's a little close to the ground. Whenever it rains, all the splash of mud, that's all that is. It's just the raindrops in here from the tree leaves above. It splashes mud all over the sides of this thing. And on the inside, I never actually cut the fencing away. So they actually, this one here, they don't use quite as much because they just happen to end right in the middle of a fencing knot. The rest of them, they've been able, they can just stick their head in through the fencing and get in there, but it's not the best. Sometimes this gets pushed away from the fencing. As you see, I've had to strap it to the fencing to keep it close. Ultimately, a lot of the feed ends up, raccoons and squirrels get in here, they knock a lot of the feed out on the ground. It gets underneath, it gets all around. My dog comes out here and tries to eat it all. She loves to eat the chicken food. And so I've put rocks underneath it to try to keep, so this is just, it ended up not being a great spot for it. Got some ideas to make this perfect, fix all the problems we have, and make this run exactly the way I want it to. Some of these are bad. This one just has cracked, and I put the screws in a little too much and broke it, so we'll replace it. It's funny, actually, years ago I got that 3D printer and I started printing these, and I thought, man, people would like these. And there wasn't really a good option on Amazon, and so I started printing a ton of these. And then they got popular, and they're all over the place now for cheaper than I could make them. So I have a lot of extra sitting around. This one's broken too. Well, here is the final product. At least this iteration should have addressed all of the problems that we had before. I've raised it up off the ground. You can see it actually rained last night. I had to repaint this morning because it actually rained on it last night and washed some of the paint off. You can see how far up the mud splashes. So that's still going to get dirty, but at least it won't rot the actual feeder itself. That will stay dry. So we added the legs, and I also added the slanted piece of material in there that will help to force the feed down to those the feeding cups on the inside. That was a lot harder than I thought to get that in here. The space to have a piece in there that fit all the way across, because of these 2x4s, I couldn't get it in there no matter how hard I tried. That's why I had to cut it in half and reinforce it, and then I just caulked all around all the edges because I don't want feed to fall in that. There's a void in there now. There's a triangle shaped void behind here in the back. I don't want feed to get stuck in there and rot. This does actually hold less feed now with that being added in here, with that slanted piece. I used to be able to put 4 bags in here easily. This is 2 bags. I probably can get a 3rd one in here. I don't think I can get a 4th one in here anymore. So 150 pounds it will hold, which is quite a bit for this many chickens. We have about 18 chickens here. So on the chicken yard side of the feeder, I built this little roost kind of, or stairs to get to the feeder. This allows the chickens to jump up on the roost. If they are adults, the larger chickens can actually stand on the bottom one and still reach the cups, and smaller chickens can stand on the taller one there. But I stapled the fencing directly to the feeder itself, and I cut out all of the fencing down below, and I put that piece of plywood in. That way the feed kind of gets deflected in instead of getting underneath the feeder. But this should solve most of the problems that I was having. So the best chicken feeder I have ever had is now upgraded to even better, the even better bestest. It has really solved a lot of the feeding problems I've had with other feeders in the past, and this will handle quite a good size flock. Even though there's only 4 feeding openings on this feeder, they take turns and they get through there, and actually a lot of times 2 of them will feed off of one opening at once. They'll kind of take turns standing next to each other. Hopefully this gave you guys some ideas, because this can be built to any size. You could build it a lot longer, and you could put 10 bags of feed in it. You could have it as long as you want, as big as you want. The nice thing about this is that I can access it from outside of the chicken yard. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have something like this? Do you have problems with it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you use to feed your chickens of your flock of any size? I'd love to hear from you guys. Put those comments down below. That always helps to share in this community of homesteaders and chicken lovers and chicken owners. Lots more to come on the chicken yard, chicken coop upgrades, and renovation of this entire operation so we can make this much better and easier. So stick around for upcoming videos on that. Of course, hit thumbs up on today's video, and we'll see you next time.